Well, hey everyone, and welcome back for another AI News Roundup. We got some pretty interesting stuff to talk about today, so let's just jump right into it.
Yeah, it's been a really crazy week in AI. Lots of news dropping.
Let's kick things off with Adobe. They launched this new Firefly AI video generator, and the big thing they're pushing is that it's IP safe, which is a pretty big deal considering all the lawsuits and stuff happening around AI and copyright.
Yeah, it's a total minefield out there right now. Everyone's trying to figure out who owns what when it comes to AI generated content. So Adobe saying, hey, come use our tool and you won't get sued. That's definitely going to turn some heads.
Right. It'll be interesting to see if this actually holds up legally or if it's just like a marketing ploy. But either way, it brings up some really important questions about like the ethics of AI and how these companies are developing these tools.
For sure.
Okay, so moving on. This one kind of blew my mind. Apparently, some researchers found that smaller data sets can be just as effective for training LLMs as those massive data sets that everyone's been using.
Yeah, that was a pretty big surprise. For a long time, we all thought that bigger was always better when it came to data for AI. But it turns out that might not be the
I
case.
mean, that could be huge, right? If you don't need a giant server farm to train a powerful AI, that opens up a lot of possibilities.
Exactly. It could make AI way more accessible to smaller companies, startups, researchers.
And it's better for the environment too, right? Like less energy consumption.
Definitely.
So it's kind of a win-win. Speaking of making AI more accessible, have you heard of Perplexity AI?
Yeah, they're doing some really interesting stuff,
They've got this new tool that basically makes high-quality AI research way more affordable.
which is a pretty direct challenge to companies like ChatGPT and Google. They're kind of the big dogs in the AI research space right now.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how they respond. Like, do they lower their prices? Or do they try to, like, differentiate themselves in some other way?
Yeah, good question. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Okay, so shifting gears a bit, let's talk about business. SAP and Databricks are teaming up to create something called the Business Data Cloud.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's basically all about making it easier for companies to use AI with their existing data.
Makes sense. AI is only as good as the data it's trained on.
Right, so if companies can, like, unlock the potential of all the data they've already got, that could be a big deal.
Definitely. And it shows how AI is becoming more and more integrated with traditional business software. Like it's not this separate thing anymore.
Yeah, it's all becoming one big ecosystem. Okay, so let's move on to something a little juicier. There's some drama brewing between Elon Musk and OpenAI. Apparently, Musk offered to buy a stake in the company, and they said no.
Wow, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, and it's not just about the money. It's about, like, different visions for the future of AI. Musk is all about open source development, making AI accessible to everyone.
Right.
But OpenAI is more focused on, like, a closed commercial model.
Yeah, that's definitely a point of contention.
So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Like, will Musk start his own AI company? Will he try to, like, disrupt OpenAI in some other way?
It's hard to say. But one thing's for sure, Elon Musk is never boring.
True that. Okay, so from drama to fashion, you might be thinking AI and fashion. How does that even work?
Right. It seems like a weird combination.
But there's this company called Scintillate. They're using AI to design shoes. And not just any shoes. They're custom designed and 3D printed.
So you can get shoes that are perfectly tailored to your feet.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's not just about, like, comfort and fit. It's also about sustainability. Because 3D printing produces way less waste than traditional manufacturing methods.
I see. So it's kind of like the future of fashion.
Yeah, and it's not just limited to shoes. We're seeing AI being used to design all sorts of things now, like clothes, furniture, even medical devices.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how AI is changing the way we design and manufacture things.
I agree.
Okay, so let's talk about the darker side of AI now. Deepfakes.
Yeah, those are scary.
They really are. I mean, the technology is getting so good that it's almost impossible to tell the difference between a real video and a fake one.
And that has all sorts of implications. Like, imagine someone using a deep fake to spread misinformation or to damage someone's reputation.
It's a real threat. And that's why the U.S. Senate just passed the Take It Down Act.
Oh, right.
It's basically aimed at cracking down on the spread of harmful deepfakes.
I mean, it's a good thing that they're taking this seriously.
Yeah, but it also raises some questions about free speech. Like, how do we prevent the spread of harmful content without, like, censoring legitimate expression?
It's a tough balance.
Definitely. Okay, so last but not least, let's talk about the EU. They're kind of known for being pretty cautious when it comes to AI regulation.
Right.
They've got the AI Act, which is like this big set of rules aimed at making sure AI is developed responsibly. But there's been this concern that it might be, like, stifling innovation.
Yeah, because the US and China are moving much faster when it comes to AI.
Exactly. So at the Paris AI Summit, the EU announced that they're going to try to be a little bit more flexible.
Really?
Yeah, they want to reduce bureaucratic hurdles and make it easier for companies to develop AI.
So they're trying to find a balance between, fostering innovation and also protecting people?
Exactly.
That's a tough needle to thread.
for sure. But it's something that every country is going to have to grapple with as AI continues to evolve.
You're right. This is a global conversation.
Absolutely. And it's one that we're going to keep having on this show, so stay tuned. We've got a lot more to talk about.